Alrighty, guys, welcome to the Liberty Bowl. So, California, man, they're doing big things in California. You guys tired of inflation yet? Apparently, they're not out there in California because now they're starting to give out more stimuluses. Apparently, Governor Gavin Newsom is going to be giving out more of these fucking stimuluses and stuff like that. Basically, it ain't shit. It's like $200 fucking, and it's basically to help the people fight inflation. In fucking, it's going to cost $17 billion to fucking California, and they're basically giving each citizen of California fucking $200 to fight inflation. Like, does this sound fucking stupid to anybody else? Because it's completely sounding stupid to fucking me. So we're gonna go ahead and read this article. We're gonna, check out, what the hell is going on and shit like that. Apparently, I also read, I read quite a few articles on this before I decided on this one. But apparently, some other ones, some other ones talk about, how there's out of staters that are gonna be they're gonna be paying you even if you don't live in California and you want to go to California, they will pay you to go there so you can get an abortion. Like, basically, they're doing big things in California, people. It's pretty crazy stuff. But before we get into that, let's get into this. Coffee and weed, man. That's a breakfast of champions, bro.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to
We're losing our democracy!
more inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Wake up!
Before we get into that, let's get into this. Alrighty, guys. So experts warn California's inflation relief could actually send prices even higher. Who would have thought that? That sounds like it makes a little bit of sense to me. I mean, it makes a little bit of common sense, I would think, right? So the inflation relief package championed by Governor Gavin Newsom and Democratic legislative leaders could have the opposite effect, pushing inflation, now at its highest level in 40 years, even higher, top economists say. One-off tax holidays or rebates which put more money in people's pockets without doing anything to boost supply are inflationary, said Jared Walczak, vice president of state projects at the Tax Foundations, a Washington-based research group. Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democratic and Democratic legislative leaders have agreed on a $17 billion relief package that includes $9.5 billion in inflation relief funds. An estimated 17.5 million California taxpayers will receive between $200 and $1,050 by early next year. Amounts will depend on income and family size. So I did a little bit more research and found the brackets that they break down. So $75,000 and less, you get $350 for you and your spouse if you guys both file, and $350 for one dependent. They're only taking one dependent on this one. So, if you guys have multiple kids, I suggest you guys abort them. They'll allow you to do that in California. Doesn't matter what age they are. So, only one kid, right? So that's the only one that they're providing relief for. All right, so then it goes down to 125,000. You get $200, and then 250,000 to half a million, you get $200. So basically, it's really a slap in the face. I mean, that's basically a tank of gas that they're spending $17 billion on. And if you guys aren't really, if you're not aware, and I don't know how you're not, inflation is not solved by printing more money. If anything, that's why inflation happens. This whole Keynesian economics of fucking money is only worth what we say it's worth, and this and that bullshit, and if I could flood the market as it needs to be, if people are poor, just print more money, like it doesn't exactly work that way. I mean, I guess Keynesian economics could work in theory. I mean, if I can, anybody will tell you it's a fucking it's a fucking sham. It's a fucking basically a way to fucking complicate fucking economics so that way the fucking rich get richer and the poor continue to fucking have their money be useless. And that's basically how you describe Keynesian economics. But I mean, still, just basically, if you're trying to implement them both at the same time with Austrian economics all in one fucking package, it's not going to end up working out. You're going to have fucking devastating results, and we're seeing that now. So, the Bee contacted economists familiar with California. All but one saw the plan as having the possibility of adding inflation. any increase in government spending will generally increase inflationary pressures, said Michael Shines, associate professor of public policy at Pepperdine University. Newsom's advisors said otherwise. Of course they did. They get paid to say that. Basically these government experts and stuff, they get paid to figure out, okay, how can we do the mental gymnastics to make to make the science and make the economics, to make the math say what we want it to say. Basically, that's all. Basic supply and demand economics is not that difficult, you guys. I mean, yeah, you may need to be a bit smarter than your average bear to kind of fully grasp what's going on with economics and shit like that. It's really not that complicated. Really not. Basically supply and demand. The supply of money goes up. Basically the demand for it goes down. AKA your money becomes more worthless. Pretty basic, right? All right. So let's see. It's our view that this package will have a minimal effect on inflation, and it's it's one-time and not ongoing relief, and by comparison, it dwarfed the size of the federal assistance provided during the pandemic, said H.D. Palmer, spokesman for the Department of Finance. So, yeah, of course, California, America. That's of course it's going to be the reason why it's a much smaller inflationary package, and then it's a much smaller stimulus package, but at the same time it's still a fucking stimulus package. The whole reason that basically our money is worthless right now, the whole reason that we can't afford to fucking fill up our tanks with gas, the whole reason we can't afford to eat, the whole reason we can't afford to feed our kids, the whole reason we can't afford to even survive anymore is because we keep fucking frivolously printing money. Basically, it's all those fucking, do you need another stimulus package? Say no, you guys. I don't know. But hopefully, the people watching my show are fucking smart enough to know that this isn't a good idea. But the world at large is not. So basically, when they ask you if you need another fucking stimulus, you tell them to fuck right off with that. Tell them, yeah, bullshit. So you guys can get fucking richer. Inflation is fucking robbery, people. Inflation is it devalues the value of your money. It makes basically to where you can't buy shit because it's too, nobody wants that money because that money ain't worth shit no more because there's fucking trillions, zillions, and unfathomable numbers of it, out in circulation right now. So, like I said, inflation is theft. Basically, you could keep that money in your pocket, and it's basically getting slowly picked away because of the fact that its value is decreasing over time due to this ridiculous amount of inflation that we have going on. So, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off right here. Why our price is so up. I can just kind of explain that to you guys, but, yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching the show, man. Yeah. Definitely. Hey, fucking Gavin Newsom's on Truth, guys. Go fucking let him have it. I'm gonna fucking definitely post this shit on his wall. Fucking what do you guys think of the fucking thumbnail? Right, some pretty good clickbait. I don't know. I appreciate you guys watching. Fucking, we're gonna be having some discussions coming up real soon. We're gonna be doing most likely doing a 4th of July special where we're gonna be like I said, we're just gonna be doing a roundtable discussion. We want to kind of turn this more into like a podcast style, rather than just me talking to you guys. Like I said, we here at the Liberty Bowl, we're about mental kung fu. We ain't about no mental gymnastics. I don't want to just sit here and fucking, blabber at you guys, even though that's what I'm doing. Still, that's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is I want to eventually make this show to where we can have, guests come on. We could have, we could have debates. We could have discussions. We can have, we could have conversations, because that's really what needs to happen right now is basically, the left and the right are basically just polarized and they just want to shut themselves off to each other. We need these people that are able to reach across the aisle and tell everyone to fuck off, basically tell everyone that, what's going on is stupid, basically this whole division is fucking retarded. Granted, yes, I know people have different ideologies and shit like that, but really, if you really sit down and talk to a fucking lefty, or you really sit down and talk to a righty, or you really sit down and talk to a libertarian, you will find out we're really not so different. Basically, like I say all the time, basically, nobody in the world wakes up and says, oh, I'm going to oppress people. Oh, I'm going to take away people's freedoms. Oh, I'm going to force people to take shots. Oh, I'm going to take away people's rights. Oh, I'm going to do this. No, nobody wakes up and just instantly thinks, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make people pissed off. People generally want to do good. Generally as a species, we want to do good. So I don't know, basically, the road to hell is paved in good intentions, people. You know, like these stuff, like these fucking stimulus packages, all this, you know, basically, I don't know. It's kind of like similar to, like, you know, feeding, you know, strays and stuff like that. Okay, cool, yeah, you know, it's nice to feed strays and stuff like that. You know, of course, you know, everything needs to eat out there, but really, the more that you feed, you know, these strays and these animals that, you know, these animals, these people and animals that don't want to fucking, you know, fend for themselves and shit like that, you're really doing more harm to them, because of the fact that they're becoming dependent on you. And if the day ever comes that, you know, you can't provide that no more, or say, you know, if you're big government and fucking, you know, there's a real cold winter one day and fucking, you know, food's, you know, shit ends up drying up. Like, it's basically right now, if the fucking government was running all of our fucking economics, how much do you think we'd really be making? Do you think we'd really be, you know, able to even survive right now? Do you think we'd even be able to live how we are right now if the government had universal basic income, and to where basically we all make the same thing, you know? Like, and basically, it doesn't matter how hard you work, we all get paid the same. Personally, you know, it sounds cool and everything, you know, but I personally, you know, think a little bit ahead. You know, I think basically once you start doing stuff like that, people are gonna, oh, I'm getting the same paycheck either way. Why the fuck do I need to work as hard? Why do I need to push myself any farther? And that's basically what, you know, what always ends up happening with communism. Basically, once that happens, the means of production slow down, and once the means of production inevitably slow down, then, you know, where shit rolls downhill, people. You know, the fucking means of production goes up to the top, and then it's supposed to be redistributed down to the people. But when there's not very much means of production, the means of production goes up to the top, and then it stays there. And the best of the people just fucking starve, basically. That's what communism is. That's what socialism is. That's what all this fucking big government gives the power to fucking people, basically, so they can legislate happiness. You know, that's what all this is. It's all just a fucking power grab. It's basically give us all the power, so that way we can legislate happiness, and we can govern everyone's lives, so that way we can make everyone happy, and everything's gonna be beautiful, and everyone's gonna make the same income, and everyone's gonna be so happy because we'll all be equal and the same. It's fucking basically the way that you sell fucking, you know, totalitarianism to retards. All right, it's basically the slippery slope that we're going down here in America, and that's why I'm doing my show, because I want to educate people and try and, you know, save you guys from the fucking pitfalls of big government. And I don't know, basically I want to make America great again. I want to make America what it was originally meant to be, and that's my purpose. So, well, I'm gonna cut it off here before I continue rambling. So, you guys, peace.
Hey, look at me, man. I look like I could be Fox News' Brian Stelter, aka the warmongering establishment Stackwell Republican known as Sean Hannity. Subscribe to our YouTube page, or better yet, find us on Rumble to get more fat bowls, fucking good news, bad news, fucking crazy opinions, and good times. Fuck off.